Hey everyone, and welcome back to the United Star. I'm Atanu and today I'm joined by a very special guest. It's Jonathan Foster from All for United WFC. He's a host over there. He's also a member of the MUWSC, which is the Manchester United Women's Supporters Club. He also writes occasionally for the United Stand. So, welcome, John. It's a pleasure to have you here. And the last time you were here, fans loved you. So, I thought, why not call you back on the show?
Yeah, look, thank you for having me. And it's a good time to get me on because I'm buzzing. 2 days to go. Well, 2 days from now, I'm not too sure when this is going to go out, but 2 days from now, I'll be actually just outside the ground waiting to go into LSV for the first time in 18 months. So cannot wait.
Yeah, it's sort of an emotional homecoming for all the fans who are going back to the LSV. So I'm like even if I'm thousands of miles away, I can feel the emotions that the people have right now. It's obviously
Yeah.
special.
Well, you speak to us on a weekly basis. You speak to us on a daily basis on Twitter. You kind of feel the same experience as us. You know what we're going through. You chat to us regularly, so you know how excited we are. We've been doing YouTube shows on our channel for 12 months, on the Barmy Army channel for longer. We talk about this for so long, and it's finally going to be here now. I just need to print my ticket off. I got the email come through yesterday, my season ticket. So we're there now, and yeah, it's definitely emotional. I can't wait until we're in the pub where there's a few of us getting a few songs going. I can't wait for us to walk from the pub to the actual stadium, which is only a couple of minute walk, but this is where you really feel like that you walk into the stadium with your fans, and it actually means something. And then we'll be queuing up outside, and then 1 hour before match starts, we'll be going in, and we'll all be there ready, together. We're going to walk under the tunnel. We're going to see the green grass. We're going to see the red seats. We're going to see our players warming up. The music's going to be on. And then we're going to walk up to where we usually stand at the top, behind the dugout. Hopefully, anyway. There's a few rumours about where we can and can't sit this year or stand, but hopefully we'll be able to stand in the same place as last year. And then we're going to start the Bring On United chant 5-10 minutes before kickoff. And yeah, finally here.
Yeah, everybody will take it all in all the experiences after a long time. So, John, just before we start, I wanted everyone to, just listen to this carefully. Jonathan Foster is from All for United WFC, and they have been doing a fantastic job. So why not give them a subscribe and follow them on their new Instagram page and drop them a follow on their Twitter handle as well. So our friends over at All for United WFC, John, Natalie, Anthony, Matt, Ben, Andy, and everyone who's involved with the All for United WFC have been doing such a great job that they have made it to the final shortlist of the FCA awards. So we'll add a link in the description. They have been nominated for the best in women's football category in the small business category. So vote for them. John, can you add something to this?
Yeah, look, it's the awards that I had no idea we was going to be even nominated for, let alone make the finalists. It's such an honour to be in the same category as some real well-respected um, writers, podcasters, people who have been around a very long time who are very knowledgeable in the women's game. But I think that we're there on merit. We've worked very hard over the last 12 months. With me and Natalie started this back in September last year. So we've come a long way in a year, and now we're doing 6 live shows a week, 2 pre-recorded shows a week on top of that without fail. So that's 8 shows a week now we're doing, as well as match day content on top. I don't think there's any other women's content creator out there that can get close to that. So, and this is all in our first year. So, providing that we all carry on as we are doing, I think we're just going to go from strength to strength. And it's great to have you on the show every Friday as well. You're on there quite a lot, and it's great. The actual show itself, we reach out to anybody. You don't have to be a Man United supporter. 5 days out of the 7, we do kind of concentrate more on Man United, but we do appreciate that in women's football, there's more to Manchester United. We enjoy talking about the FA. We enjoy talking about grassroots football. We go and watch our local teams. There's so much that we do. We talk about racism, sexism. We talk about anything to do with women's football. And it's just, it's a great community that we have. And we've built it up pretty much from scratch. And it's going really well. And we're very proud of it over here.
Yeah, definitely, John. And I know you can also, so just putting out another request to everyone. You can also vote on the FCA's Instagram page. We'll add the link to the post in the description. You just have to follow two steps. You have to click on the link and you have to tag All for United WFC in the comments. Their Twitter handle and Instagram handles are @ All for United WFC. So do vote, guys. They've been doing a fantastic job and they deserve to win.
Thank you very much, Atanu. Really appreciate that. Thank you.
And while you're at it, do subscribe to our channel as well. We are nice people as well. So John, moving on, we've seen five players come in this season. We've seen Sophie Bagley, the goalkeeper, coming from Bristol City. We've seen Aoife Mannion from Manchester City coming in the centre back, and I think she'll play a starting 11 role. We've seen Martha Thomas coming from West Ham, the striker. We've seen Vilde Borisa coming from, I think she's come from Sweden. Uh, and
Yeah,
she's a fantastic number 8. She's a fantastic midfielder. And we have seen Hannah Blundell coming from Chelsea, the fullback. So I think we've got some fantastic players. Jonathan, what are your thoughts about the incomings that we have seen?
really impressive. And the reason why I say that is I think three of our four positions have strengthened over the summer. So our goalkeepers definitely strengthened. We had Mary Earps originally with two youngsters who never really got any game time. Now Mary Earps is up against Bagley. So we got two very good, solid goalkeepers there who could fight for that number one spot. So that's definitely improved. Defence, you brought in a new fullback who was very attacking, much like Anna Battle. We saw how good she did last season, a player of the season. So now we've got Anna and we've got Blundell on the other side. That's really strong with obviously Curtis Smith and Martha as backups. Amy Turner, massive loss, but we brought in Aoife Mannion, very experienced, comes from play for Man City, really strong. Started pre-season very well as well. Bit of a character as well. She's great on social media. So defence stronger. Midfield, we haven't lost anyone over the summer, but we've gained Vilde Borisa. She's kind of like our headline signing this summer. Dill was probably done back in January, but because of COVID restrictions and everything else, it's kind of took until now to get that deal over the line. And then Martha Thomas. Look, our strike force, we've lost 5 strikers over the past 5 months or so, 4 months. And we've only brought one in. However, does this now mean that we can bring in a couple of youth players? Does it mean that Russo will obviously play a lot more now because she was injured last season? Hopefully she'll get more game time. We'll get to see more of FAWSL because we didn't see much of her last season. And maybe, like I say, a couple of youngsters as well. So I think the squad all in all has got better. I think it's just a strike force that we're slightly lacking on because we've lost 5 players up top and only brought one in.
Yeah, definitely. I think you are absolutely right in saying that Vilde Borisa can be the signing of the season for us. She's a brilliant player. We've seen Hannah Blundell doing well against Reading as well. Sophie Bagley comes in and you know she comes in and competes with Mary Earps. So Mary Earps isn't of the idea right now that my place is strength. Like I am not irreplaceable. So I think that that's a fantastic signing as well. I am a bit skeptical about our strike force right now because, as you said, we've not brought in many players, but at the same time, our wingers right now, Kirsty Hansen and Leah Garten, are on fire. So, maybe it takes Russo and Thomas some time to settle in, but we have someone.
It's not the end of the world as long as we don't get many injuries. But we saw last season we do get injuries, and Galton in particular, she's not a stranger to being sidelined, which is a massive shame because now all of a sudden we haven't got the Tobin Heath who can compete with Galton on that side. We haven't got Press who can compete, and Jess Digsworth who used to play up top, and on the right hand side, LJ, we know how good she was. Jane Ross was another striker, very experienced, who could come on. We haven't got these strength in numbers anymore. However, we have still got quality. Kirsty Hansen, player of pre-season already. Leah Galton, one of the WSL's best players, arguably the best left winger in the country. And we all know and expect a lot from Russo. Maybe we're putting too much pressure on Russo. And some fans who may never have seen Russo may think Martha Thomas could be potentially our number one up top. So the players that we have got, I'm very happy with. It's just the case that we haven't got many strikers anymore.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, yes, the maybe some youngsters from the devs and academy come into the first team and do well if someone from the first team is injured. So, John, I wanted to ask, who, according to you, will be the player of the season for us? Like, if you had to do a prediction
Oh,
right now.
okay, okay. Um, I think it's easy to say someone who's going to score goals because they always get they always get the headlines, don't they? But I think we saw last year we kind of broke those rules with honour. So I'm probably going to say I'm trying to think of someone outside the box a little bit. Um, I think I'm probably going to go with Jackie Groden this year. I think if Jackie gets the same amount of game time as she did last season, I think she'll flourish. Massive fan of Jackie, but I'm a massive fan of everybody. I think last season she was pipped at the post by Honor. I think Jackie started the season very, very well. But I just think Honor was more stable. And I just think this year, I think Jackie with Balvisa around her, with Katie Zellum now playing at her best, Ella Toon growing up and flourishing, Lucy Stan around her. I think that'll really push Jackie to play at her best. And I don't think we've seen the best of Jackie yet. I think she's getting better and better. And I think now that she's surrounded by potentially better players, I think maybe we'll see the best of Jackie. So let's go with Jackie on that one.
I'd go, yeah, Jackie will play a major role, but I'd personally go with Kirsty Hansen. I know if
Yeah.
Ben is watching this, he'll be really happy with me. But I'll go with Kirsty Hansen.
If you ask me who the surprise package is, who the underdog is, Kirsty Hansen, every day of the week from season one, season two, season three, and now season four. She's one of our favourites. She thoroughly deserves this right wing spot. Even if we bring someone in last minute, which I don't know, but even if we did, I'd still say Kirsty should be a number one choice. She doesn't get half the respect she deserves because she's quiet, and for whatever reason, she's a quality player and she's going to go from strength to strength. She signed a 3-year contract about 6 months ago, so she's still with us for some time yet. And
Yeah.
I know the management will be happy with her. She's a proper United player who's really, really going strength to strength. Um, but as for player of the season, maybe if she can get enough games, she should definitely be up there, hopefully. But no, I'm still going to stick with Jackie on this one.
Yeah, definitely. So, John, let's just come to the first game of the season. We are playing Reading at LSV. Last time we played them, we lost 2-0, and that was a very heartbreaking defeat, in my opinion, because that if we had even got that 1 point or 3 points, we would have been in the top three. So, how do you think, what are your expectations from this team right now for the first game of the season?
First game of the season. Look, we know Reading's a tough team, but they've had a bit of a dodgy transfer window. They've had a bit of a change with the squad and potentially weaker than last season. We know Reading's tough. We have a very tough game. Even when we win them, it's not easy. So this won't be an easy game at all. It's the first game back. I think we will come at the traps quite good. I think what we have seen going in the last couple of seasons that we do start off the season well. We drew against Chelsea last season in the opening game, and then went on to win and end up topping the league. Throughout Christmas time. Season before that, okay, we only lost 1-0 to City in our first WSL game at the Etihad, but then obviously we went on and had a fantastic winning streak in the second season. So I do think that we are a team that starts off the season strong. I think mentally we're in a very good place now. About 2 or 3 months ago, I think the players was a bit nervy. I think the club was nervy. I think everything was unstable. I think since the arrival of the new manager, who we'll talk about shortly, he's definitely settled that down. The fans are settled down. Our heart's beating fast just thinking about getting to the stadium for that first time in ages. But yeah, we're settled now. We kind of know what we've got now. So I think that this is set up for a perfect opening game for us. We're at home Friday night, so it's something completely different. The atmosphere is going to be amazing. It really is. And I just hope that the players are relaxed. Obviously, they're going to be nervous playing in front of us. I understand that, but they are professionals at the end of the day. So I really hope that professionalism comes across and they just play their own game. But I do want their butterflies to be going as well, because usually when you've got those butterflies, you play better, and you just gives you that little bit extra. And of course, we are the 12th player in this game. So for us, I'm expecting a win. I'm not saying it's going to be easy because Reading are never easy, but I do think that they've got a little bit weaker season on season. So I have to fancy us on this game.
Yeah, definitely. I think you're right that, even though Reading didn't have a very good transfer window, like they have seen many outgoings as well. but that doesn't mean that we should be taking them lightly, because we did lose to them last time. So this is like a revenge in front of the fans, which will be fantastic. We also in the Reading game, like I was watching it via MUTV and the other streams. So I was watching it and I was like, there's a, like at the LSV there are like, if for example there are 70% people, so out of that, right now at the Reading game, there were only like 20-30 fans from United, if I'm not wrong, 50 at what
Where, sorry, Atanu?
the Reading game. Sorry,
Oh, the
the
Reading game. Oh,
Rangers game.
Rangers, sorry. Yeah, so, yeah, I think there was a few local fans that turned up. I mean, you could probably see on MUTV, there wasn't many.
Yeah.
We took a bus of about 15, so we probably do about 15 to 20 people there. And, yeah, there's a few local fans. So, yeah, it's about maybe between 50 and maybe 100 if it was mixed in with a
So
few Rangers fans as well,
so
but not many.
so the LSV's atmosphere will be even higher. So that's what my point was, that there we
Yeah,
saw a lot of, like, I was watching it and I was so excited that the fans are chanting, the fans are clapping, and you could hear the likes of Natalie chanting a lot, and encouraging the players to go forward. On one
yeah.
side there was Mark Skinner shouting that, okay, go forward. On the other hand, our fan base was there who was saying, come on, come on. So that was fantastic, John. So I think at LSV the atmosphere will be much higher, and in a huge manner.
Our average attendance at Lee Sports Village is 2,200. Now, I don't know what to expect on the first game of the season, because you can think to yourself, right, it's been so long, everyone's going to come. But on the flip side, you can turn around and say, are people comfortable with COVID? Are people comfortable about going out just yet? Most are, some aren't. It's on Sky TV, so are people going to stay home to watch this? It's a Friday night, so it's not like a Sunday midday kickoff. It's a bit harder to get to on a Friday night. But I think what is good is that we've had time to actually prepare for this now. So I think anybody who wants to go to this game can go to this game. Whereas Rangers, it was kind of sprung upon us. We knew there was going to be some sort of thing in Scotland, but we didn't know when. So it was very hard for fans to get days off against Rangers. Whereas this one, we've known about this for a long time. So, if 1,500, 2,000 fans turn up, you're absolutely right, Tony. It will be rocking. It will be electric. We're not going to stop singing. We are missing one certain fan who will be missed in the crowd. We'll definitely miss that singing voice. But of course, it's not just one voice now. There is about 100 to about 100 fans that will probably be singing throughout that game. So yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, definitely. Of course, let's now move from the fans and the what are your expectations to what do you think will be the starting 11? Like, if you had to come up with someone.
Yeah, so I think just in general, I think this year, and Mark Skinner said this himself, he's going to be looking at the opponents more than just looking at our strongest 11, which I think is quite clever. As a Man United fan, our glory years under Sir Alex Ferguson, we put out our strongest 11. We knew our strongest 11 was better than any other strongest 11. Because we're still a new team in women's football, we're not at that level yet. So we have to kind of look at our opponents and think, right, this is their weak spot. We need to exploit this weak spot. So I don't think it's a case of having the strongest 11 anymore. Not the way Mark Skinner's looking at it, and I kind of agree with him. I think he's going to be looking at our opponents and thinking, right, this fullback's quite slow. I need to put a pacey winger against this person. Or they might think to themselves, right, these defenders are going to have a low block. We need someone with a bit of intricacy, someone with a bit of skill, quick passing. So I think this season we may see a lot of good players may not even make a starting 11. There might be a substitute, a game changer, as Casey Stein used to say. And I completely understand that. And I think a lot of Twitter fans, Twitter accounts out there will go into meltdown, so to speak, because if one of their favourite players won't play, they won't understand that logic. And it's easy to say that. I think, especially if we lose our first 2 or 3 games, people will think that Mark Skinner's not got a clue when they're going to say these things. Me personally, I believe in what he's doing. I really do. If you want my predicted 11, our strongest 11, I'll give you that now. I think the goalkeeper, there is competition there this year. I think a lot of people are going for Bagley. I still think Bagley needs to earn the right to get into the team. So I'll still go for Mary Earps, but I think one thing's for certain: if she does make regular mistakes, then she's got someone who can replace her this season. So I'm going to stick with Mary on this for the time being at least. Fullbacks that I mentioned earlier, I think Anna one side, Hannah Blundell the other side. I think that's really strong. I really do. Probably going to be Millie Turner and Aoife Mannion, the centre backs. Can't see why not. I think Maria is a fantastic substitute. You know, she can play right wing, sorry, right fullback or centre back. But I think at this point, we'll probably start off with Millie Mannion. Then the midfield's where it gets a little bit interesting because we've got 6 quality players. And even now, I can't think of who it's going to be. I think judging on pre-season, I think you're probably going to think to yourself, right, we'll play our captain, Katie Zellum. She's actually on form at the moment, scoring a lot of goals. Not done too much wrong. So as a captain, you think that she will play. Unfortunately, Hayden Ladd, we haven't seen much of. So as our only and as our best CDM, that might be sacrificed to make way for Vilda Balrisa, who's been playing very well over pre-season. And then it's either going to be Jackie or Tooney. Now, because Jackie hasn't started much lately and she's new to the team, I think she might be easing gradually. So then I'd expect Tooney to start. But that's not a given either because Lucy Staniforth has ended last season really well, started this season really well. Knows Mark Skinner from the past. She's got that experience, potential voice between Mark Skinner and the players. So that's not even a given myself, but in my opinion, I think we need to start Tooney. And then you'd have Galton, Hanson, and Russo up front. That would be my strongest 11. But just because it's our strongest 11, it doesn't mean that Mark Skinner will go for that. I think he's going to be looking at the opposition a little bit more.
Yeah, I think I'd go with the same starting 11 because people might say, why start Katie Zellum? But Katie Zellum has had a wonderful preseason. Same with Vilde Borisa. So, there's no argument that you can't start them. They have like, and yeah, go on, John.
No, I was going to say I agree. I think every manager treats their players differently. So maybe if Kate had a bit of a rough time towards the end of last season because of everything she went through in that season, I could understand why she wouldn't be playing as much. But now it's a new leaf. There's a new manager in. It's a new story to be told. It's a new page in the chapter. It's a new chapter in the book. So for me, I can understand why Katie Zeller would be potentially not playing, but that's purely because there's 5 other players who are potentially equally as good as her, maybe not be able to take the free kicks that she takes. But she's got a lot of respect in that club. She's been our captain since the second season. She was player of the season in our first season. She's there on merit. But as I said about the goalkeeper situation, if she doesn't perform, then there's other players now who can kind of get ahead of her, definitely.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And right now, I think Katie Zellum will be the captain. There's no argument about that for the time being.
I
So
agree with that. I agree with that decision as well. So, look, it's always up for debate. There's a lot of Jackie Rowling fans out there who are saying Jackie should be captain. I think it could potentially be a wrong decision to take someone away from being a captain and then still expecting them to perform at the best. Katie hasn't done much wrong. I think the whole team last season let themselves down towards the end of the season. A fantastic start to the season, overachieved up until the first 4 or 5 months. But there weren't too many leaders at the end of last season. And you can talk about captain's attributes, but I think a lot of things get forgotten about when you're a captain. You kind of fans are just drawn to the 90-minute match that they see on TV. Who knows what Katie says and does behind the scenes? Who knows how she looks after the youngsters or what words she has to her colleagues? We don't know that. We just see the 90-minute match. So if she's not like the best player on the pitch, all of a sudden people are going to think, right, I want this player instead. And I think she's up against that, unfortunately. But like I say, she started off the season well. And good luck to her. And I'm hoping to see a goal from her in that opening game because her free kicks, as soon as she puts that ball down, if it's in a certain position, it's going to go in the back of the net.
I agree. I think she's a set piece specialist. She's our free kick specialist right now, and I think in this preseason only we have seen like 2 or 3 free kicks from her.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. But and she scored a great goal against Rangers as well. Not just a free kick, but the one outside the box where it kind of went over the goalkeeper.
Yeah,
That was,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I don't think anyone speaks about that goal enough because I think that was a great goal. That was. So yeah, look, we know she can score goals 100%. Yeah, so hopefully she's in a position on the pitch where she can get those shots away. And you know, I've been fortunate to be at LSB and saw quite a few important goals that she scored. And the crowd buzzes. You know, the crowd inside the stadium love our captain. It's as simple as that. You know, it's great.
Yeah, definitely, John. So now moving on to our last segment. Before we start, I'll just, say a few words. Mark Skin is Bamiami. So we'll be so we'll be talking about Mark Skinner right now. We all saw the video that MUWSC posted and all of the fans who were over there. It was really special when he came to talk to the fans towards the end of the match at Rangers. In this whole video, I am just confusing Reading and Rangers, so
It's all
apologies
right.
to apologies to the viewers as well. So yeah, I think that message that he gave, you supporters like this, and we'll make sure that we continue performing like this. So that was fantastic, John. So what was your experience of watching Mark Skinner over at Rangers?
Just based on that game, I could see a difference in the way that we played. We do pass the ball more. We've got a bit more intent. So when we pick up the ball, we're looking for a forward pass almost right away, as opposed to just keeping the ball for the sake of keeping the ball. I think we had a lot of space on the wings that we potentially didn't utilise enough. I think there was other opportunities there where our fullbacks could have got forward, and even like Hanson and Galton could have had the ball a lot more. But what we've seen as well this season is instead of Hanson and Galton just running at defenders with the ball using their dribbling technique or a long ball over the top for them to run onto, we've now seen them come inside a bit more. And I know if anybody watches that channel, we've got a presenter on there called Matt, and he looks at this kind of stuff in a bit of detail, and he's basically saying that the way we're set up now is more of a 4-2-1-3 as opposed to a 4-2-3-1. So in other words, our wingers are getting further forward; they're more attacking, which I think is interesting because that style of play does create a lot more fluidity at the moment. That's the way it's looking, at least. Obviously, I appreciate we're playing weaker competition at the moment. But yeah, so obviously the style of play we've seen different. When Mark Skinner came over at the end, and the captain, I mean, we didn't get a video of Katie, but Katie said a few words before Mark Skinner did. But when he came over, I thought that was great, a great touch. He didn't have to do that. I think it was the right thing to do because it was the first time that he met the fans, and I'm not surprised he did it because I think he's going to really enjoy being here with us fans. I think if I could skin him up in one word, me personally, I think of the word excitement. You know, he excites me. He's inspiring with his words. The things he says would motivate me. Just on a 2 or 3 minute post-match interview or pre-match interview, I'm motivated. I want to play for him. So if I feel like that, just imagine how the players feel who spent a whole week with him in Scotland and 40-hour a week about training. So I think he's got the players on board. He's definitely got the fans on board, and I just hope that the first 5 matches, we get at least 3 wins, and if we can get 3 wins and a draw, that'll be great. But if we can get that, that would really be the kind of boost that he needs, because the last thing we want is for him to do such a great job, but the results aren't there, because that could easily happen. So I think he's got a lot of fans behind him. He really has. I think he's very genuine in what he's saying. I think he really cares. I think he's here for the right reasons. I can't wait to start cheering his name in the ground, definitely.
Yeah, I think he has a way with words, like you said. Even if it's a pre-match interview or a post-match interview, you get hyped up listening to his words. He not only talks about performances on the pitch, he talks about the connection of the pitch. He's always stated that we want to play the Man United way, the attacking way, and for that, I need to build connections with the players. And I think this was one of the reasons why the Rangers camp was conducted. So I think we saw a lot of content on social media as well. Players, it was more of a getting together and having that connection rather than like, of course they trained. I'm not saying they didn't train, but it was more about coming together and having and getting to know each other and having that connection. So I think with that context, Mark Skinner is spot on. It's not only about the performances on the pitch, it's about having that relationship and that connection of the pitch. And I think he's been doing a fantastic job with that pretext. So, John, building upon this, what are your views about this?
Yeah, 100%. Because as a manager, you've got to get the best out of your players. It doesn't matter what job you are. If you're a manager, you've got to get the best out of your team. And how you choose to do that is up to you. But one of the best ways, surely, is to communicate to them, talk to them, see what makes them tick, see what their benefits are, see what their weaknesses are. Really accentuate the benefits of them, and then try and work on the weaknesses as well. Also, just have some honest conversations with them and say, look, how do you think you're doing? What do you think you need to do better? And then listen to them and work around it, and then speak to all of them. Then come together as a team, thinking, right, if your weaknesses are there, then obviously your strengths are here. We'll do this, and just work together. And this is what I think you'll bring. But now, what I don't want is fans to think, right, you've been here a month or 6 weeks. It's going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen overnight. We need to place. We've had 7 players come leave. We've had 5 players come in. We've got new manager, new coaching staff. There's so much that's gone on. It's not going to happen overnight. If it does, then fantastic. He's doing an even better job. But we need to trust in what Skinner's direction is, what his philosophy is, and then give him time to do that. If at the end it's not worked out, then unfortunately it's not worked out. But you've got to give him time, because he's changing the whole way Man United women's team has been for the last 3 years. So and it's not an easy job, but from what we've seen in pre-season, he's getting there.
Yeah, definitely, John. I think we are under exciting times ahead, and we are under a great manager right now. And I personally think the fans who were, so quick to judge him, so quick to hate him just because they saw some stats on the internet. I think it's more about that. It's more than that. It's about how you build connections on and off the pitch. It's about how you lead the team. It's about managing your team better. And I think his Orlando Pride tenure wasn't as good as people wanted it to be. And I think a major reason for this might be the COVID situation that happened, and the NWSL was disrupted, because we saw that with Birmingham City, he was doing fantastic with the amount of resources he got. I think he did a very good job with Birmingham City.
There's a pod. I'm going to shout out my own channel on this, because this is the best source that we've got. It really is. We had a podcast a week or two ago with an NWSL journalist called Catherine Paquette. I think that's how you pronounce her name. And she explained the exact obstacles Mark Skinner had at in the NWSL. About 9 players consistently out because he was either playing for the country or one reason or another. It's not that easy. You can quite easily look on Wikipedia and say, oh, well, he's no good because of this particular stat. That's irrelevant. What happens in the NWSL is completely different to the team and the philosophy that he's got right now in Manchester United. It's a completely different ball game. If anything, you got to relate it more to Birmingham, because it was only a couple of years ago. It's not like it was like 10 years ago, and it's in the same league. So surely, if you're going to compare anything, you'd go for his results at Birmingham, because it's the most equal to United. So yeah, I can completely understand it. And myself, I was sitting on the fence because I didn't know much about him until we started to be linked with him. Then I started to do a bit of research. But what I don't do is just look at stats. I listen to people who know about him. I don't just look on Wikipedia. I'm in a fortunate position where I can talk to journalists from the past who know him from his Birmingham days, journalists and fans from the NWSL days. So this is what I would expect any fan to do. Don't just jump on the first thing you read. That's not good. Do your research, actually get some credible information. And, we've done that now. Absolutely. I was 50-50 at the start, but then I started to ask around. And now, obviously, I've seen it with my own eyes now, what he's doing. So that's all I would say to any fan. Just actually do some research before you just make an opinion.
Yeah, definitely, John. I think I trust Mark Skinner to lead this team. I know you trust Mark Skinner to lead this team, and we'll back the manager until the end. And there's no doubt about that. So we have come to the end of our video. So thank you so much, John, for coming on the channel. It's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Look, thank you for having me, and thank you for joining us on our channel as well. It's great to catch up, and you guys are doing a great job over there, and we support each other because ultimately we all support Man United and Man United women's team. So keep up the great work over there, and yeah, thank you to everything that you're doing.
Yeah, so on that note, guys, do subscribe to All for United WFC. Like I said at the beginning of the video, do go on their Instagram page, drop them a follow, do go on their Twitter handle, drop them a follow over there as well. Do follow Jonathan on Twitter as well. I'll add all the links in the in the description below. Vote for them for the FCA awards. I want people to vote for them. I want them to win. So guys, go on, vote for them via the website, vote for them via the Instagram post. You just have to tag them in the Instagram post, and you just have to click on the drop down menu and select all for United WFC in the best women's category. What is the category, Jonathan? Can you repeat?
Best in women's football, and you got three options, and it's the middle one, small business, and we're on there. Yeah, and then it really is that easy, guys. You just literally just choose our name, click vote, it's done.
Yeah, just do that, guys. I mean, come on, they are doing a fantastic job. If you give them a subscribe, if you follow their content, you'll realize why I am, requesting everyone to vote for them. So, and of course, subscribe to our channel as well. Do follow us on our on our Instagram and Twitter handle as well. And we'll see you next time. Bye bye.